Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. So diving right into it here, first of all, I'm going to let you know that the PlayStation Plus Essential lineup for October has been revealed. So your PS5 game, and it's also available on PS4, will be Hot Wheels Unleashed. And then the two PS4 games are going to be Injustice 2 and Super Hot. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about the Essential PS Plus lineup for October. Obviously, PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, those lineups have not been announced yet, so I'll let you know when they are. Next up, we're talking about Sackboy A Big Adventure finally being officially revealed for PC. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, it says Sackboy A Big Adventure will make its way to PC on October 27th, 2022. The trailer confirmed a number of features, including 4K resolution at 120 frames per second, 21:9 ultra-wide monitor support, along with NVIDIA DLSS and a variable refresh rate. Sackboy A Big Adventure launched on November 12th, 2020, and was a PS5 launch title, a spin-off from the Little Big Planet series. The game was developed by Sumo Digital. The studio took over the Little Big Planet property from Dreams developer Media Molecule. So yeah, if you are somebody who is, wanting to play this game on PC, or if you've been waiting, now you know when it's coming out. I mean, I feel like this has been leaked multiple times at this point. And so, yeah, let me know if it's a game you plan on picking up on PC. Next up, we have an update on what was once somehow considered a PlayStation competitor, Google Stadia. It's been announced it's officially shutting down for good. I don't think this is necessarily a surprise. So reading here from Push Square, they say back in 2019, Google officially announced its new game streaming platform Stadia. At the time, the tech juggernaut framed Stadia as the future of gaming, a way to play all kinds of games on demand without having to worry about your computer's specifications. It all sounded rather impressive, and it actually worked fairly well under the right circumstances. But many questioned whether the world was ready for game streaming to really kick off and compete with traditional console and PC platforms. And now we know the answer. The world was not ready. Following several years of relative struggle, Google has decided to shut Stadia down on January 18th, 2023. The company is actually refunding all Stadia purchases up until this point, which includes hardware, software, and DLC, which is at least a consumer-friendly move. You may remember that Stadia was once considered a direct competitor to PlayStation, or more specifically, PlayStation Now, Sony's own streaming service that has since been folded into the overhauled PS Plus. There was even a story going around that Sony was, quote, terrified of Stadia, but that was before the platform's unimpressive launch in November of 2019. And so that's what I think is so interesting about this, because I remember covering this, and that is something that I do remember talking about, is how there were reports that Sony internally, when they heard that Google was entering gaming with this new cloud streaming service, apparently Sony on the inside was pretty nervous. And, I can't blame them. I know it's kind of funny to imagine, especially seeing how it all played out, that Sony would have ever been scared. But it does go to show that, Sony does take these big companies that have a lot of money to throw around and have a lot of power pretty seriously, as they should. I think it would have been a little bit more concerning if we heard that Sony was just laughing on the inside and not taking it seriously at all and just being kind of arrogant in that way. I don't think we want to see Sony be like that, because, I mean, look, you hear that Google's entering the gaming space, a market that you're leading. You might want to pay attention because you don't know what's going to happen, and you can't really blame Sony. They had no idea what was going to happen. But I will say, before moving on, that I am glad to see that Stadia is going away now, because I never, ever liked the notion that Google was pushing here, where it's like streaming only, cloud only, this is the future. I don't want that for the future of gaming, and I know most people don't, and I just don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think the way that both Sony and Microsoft have handled cloud gaming thus far is the appropriate way to handle it, where it's kind of an auxiliary thing. It's supplemental. It's not them saying that this is going to take over, we're pushing this. And I think the day we learned that Google Stadia was simply just cloud gaming only was the day it sealed its fate. And I had a feeling that it was going to fail. And yeah, here we are. It's going to shut down officially in January of next year. So yeah, there it is. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Moving on from that, we have an update on the Dead Space PS5 remake and how it will apparently take notes from God of War and be one shot. So again, from Push Square, it says EA Motive has confirmed its upcoming Dead Space PS5 remake won't contain a single load screen unless you die to the necromorphs. The original PS3 title came quite close to achieving this, with the camera firmly planted just behind Isaac Clarke's right shoulder for almost the entire time. However, control was taken away between chapters because of load screens. That won't happen on PS5 with a single uninterrupted camera shot. It means Dead Space follows in the footsteps of God of War, which committed to a single shot for the entire duration of the game. God of War Ragnarok will also do the same in November. An EA blog post notes that this single shot now allows you to freely explore the USG Ishimura, going wherever you like and backtracking for items you might have missed. It's now a completely unbroken experience, said senior producer Philip Ducharme. Elsewhere in the article, they talk about honoring the legacy of the first game by staying true to its core foundations, but then adding some neat enhancements on top. There will be new content, more lore to uncover, and the obvious graphical improvements. The goal was to make you feel like you're experiencing Dead Space again for the first time if you're already a fan of the game, but we also have the chance to give people who never played it the opportunity to have the definitive Dead Space experience with a game that plays, that looks, that sounds like a modern game. And so, for those who aren't aware or have forgotten, Dead Space Remake is currently set to launch on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC on January 27th, 2023. And it's worth noting it's a current-gen only game. And on top of that, we're getting our first screenshots. And looking at these screenshots, the game looks incredible. I mean, you can clearly see the advantage here of this game being current gen only. They're able to push the limit graphically. So yeah, I can't wait to play this. Let me know your thoughts about that down below. We're moving on to the final topic, and this is coming from Push Square again, where the title says hires for a AAA live service game from a flagship Sony IP are underway. They say here Jetpack Interactive, a small support studio based in Vancouver, has posted job listings for a AAA live service game it is working on with Sony. The title is based on a flagship PlayStation IP and will form part of the platform holder's large push into the live service game sector. The Canadian team is actively recruiting engineers in the gameplay, networking, and rendering sectors. This appears to be the first game Jetpack Interactive will have developed on its own, with its previous work revolving around bringing other titles to market. It helped EA on the NBA Live series for a number of years before providing engineering support for the Steam upgrade to Dark Souls, and then it did the same for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. In recent years, though, the studio appears to have developed a relationship with Sony. It ported Orcs Must Die Unchained to PS4, brought God of War to PC, and then also lent a helping hand on God of War Ragnarok. With hirings still ongoing, it's unlikely this project will see the light of day with an announcement anytime soon. Sony plans to launch 10 live service games by March 2026, though, so this will just be one of many. The Last of Us multiplayer will spearhead the lineup, and it'll be joined by a Twisted Metal title from Fire Sprite Games. Destiny 2 developer Bungie has been acquired to help the company make all of this a success. So yeah, you know, this is kind of out of nowhere, right? I think to me the most interesting part about this is the fact that whatever this game is, it's apparently a flagship Sony IP. So that tells us that it's something that's already established, and it's worth noting that it was revealed in the job listing that they're working with Unreal Engine. So that might give us a bit of an idea of, you know, what game this might be and which studio may also be involved in this, because that's the thing here is I have a hard time believing that it's just Jetpack Interactive. I mean, I don't know how a you know, kind of smaller support studio could just suddenly, you know, be given the task of working on an IP that's already established, you know, make a AAA live service and have it be successful. I almost, you know, I'm wondering if they're basically supporting another studio here. And so, you know, it's anybody's guess at this point what this game could be, but I know not everybody's on board with the whole live service thing, but you know, until we see them, we don't know how they're going to turn out. Some people might end up, you know, finding themselves a little bit more excited than they currently are. But yeah, it's a lot of live service games. This is one of the studios working on it, and we'll have to wait and see what, you know, game is announced here. So at this point, I'm going to ask you guys to leave your thoughts down below and kind of let me know, you know, what flagship Sony IP do you think they're working on here? And do you think it's just Jetpack Interactive, or do you think that they're kind of co-developing it with another PlayStation studio? Let me know your thoughts down below, but that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.